We are back. Let's go. Nailed it. Players, coaches, fans, young and old from across the globe, welcome to the Week 13 recap show of the Bigs. As always, I'm your host, I'm your commissioner, I am Team Westside, and it is with a jolly new year welcome that I say it is a goddamn honor to be here with you all recapping the greatest league in the world. Woo! Talk about an intro. Get the coffee brewing. Let's go. Lot to get caught up on. Hand up, mea culpa. I'm a bigger person. I will say last couple weeks, dropped the ball. I think you can all understand. New Year's, Christmas, they all fell right in that Tuesday, Wednesday window. Listen, kids show, everything in moderation. But when your boy wakes up Christmas Eve, grinding at the coal mine for what felt like months on end, it was probably only a couple days. The mimosas get flowing early. Last thing that comes to mind is talking about his poo-poo pants minus $1 million hockey team. Hand up. Didn't want to do it. Couldn't do it. New Year's. Out of town. Partying. Next day. Hungover. Is that my fault? I don't know. I'd like to think it's not my fault. I digress. Doesn't matter. Forward. The windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror, gentlemen. We're dropping wisdom bombs. We're talking puck. Let's fly, gentlemen. What do we miss? Winter break. Drunk, hungover. Those are the first two things I wrote down. It's a kid's show. Everything in moderation. Listen, we are now 13 weeks into this shindig, and we are finally starting to see some separation on the top, in the middle, in the bottom, after a year that has been divided right down the middle, clean as can be, with a top tier and a bottom tier. Now within those, we're starting to get some separation. And a lot of that had to do with this week. Big week this week. Let's hop right into it. And we must start with the hottest team in the league in this month. In the past 2 months, 8-game winning streak. Grasp, stranglehold almost on the number 1 seed. I'm talking about the comeback kid, 181.3 over the lonely Timmy Westside, 151. Not even close. Juggernaut, wagon. What's the opposite of the caboose on the train? The lead engine? I don't know, but with an 11-2 record right now, 2 games up on the Borland Backhanders, the Rubber Puckies. We'll get into it. No spoilers. I want to find a good comparison. He's basically Rudolph. He's got the red nose right now. You know, those other horses in back of him hustling, but the two game bump. It gives him that red nose. I don't know. 8-game win streak, 2 games up. He's the first time real division on top, as I've said. Quick math guy, 7 games left. With a 2-game advantage is pretty big right now. How'd he do it? 181.3 was not the best this week, not the worst. Goalies led the way. As you can see from his top 3, Stuart Skinner, 15.3 points with 2 wins, no losses. Right behind him, Jake Ottinger at 14.4 points, another 2 wins, no losses. And we're going to round out his top 3 goalies, Demko, 1.1 point, injured. He picked up Sam Montembeault, got the loss. It didn't matter. Those 2 big dogs led the way for him, followed up by Leon Draisaitl, 12.4 points. Did I write it down? 3 goals, 1 apple. I'm humming out of the gates, boys. Stick taps for me for bringing the heat, bringing the energy when my team stinky poo-poo. We'll get into it. Bang the gavel. Christoph Jeremiah Boutin is the first team to clinch a playoff spot. 11-2 record. 9 games up on the 2-11 Timmy Westside. Can't say it with a straight face. He has clinched a playoff spot. I'm pretty sure the other guys have as well, just by matchups and tiebreakers. But in terms of just looking at the records, whammy. The first guy to punch his ticket into the dance, get the suit pressed, think about who you're going to take. Clinch playoffs. He had 4 days over 30 points this week, and it was never close. Not even... Timmy Westside didn't even get out of the gate. Comeback kid. Takes care of business. 8-game win streak. He's got the red nose on. All he's got to do is finish it up now. Long way to go, but he's in pole position. That would have been better. Fucking reindeer. Get out of here. Christmas. See you next year. Let's flip over to Timmy Westside. Listen. I'm not mad about it anymore. It is what it is. I'm 2-11. I'm staring down the barrel of the gun. It's amazing that I win this week. No spoilers, and I'm in 5th. But a win right now seems like a far gone mythical dream that will never be within my grasp. I'm on a 1,000,000 losing streak. And right now I am dealing with injury troubles. Kaprizov out, Pedersen out. We'll get into him. Shesterkin out. We'll get into him. But it really, I almost can't be mad because it comes down to my drafting. And I drafted 6 overall. Had the wraparound. And 6th round pick. 6th overall. David Pastrnak. At the time, no one would have scoffed at that. Right now, he has less points per game than Jason Zucker, Sean Monahan. As a 6th overall pick, you should be at least in the mid 3s. He's at 2.9 points a game. Honestly, those like first, your first round pick should be closer to 4 points a game. No questions asked. Need to have those. And normally they all even out in the wash. Normally it's those later round picks that really catapult teams into a Borland backhander, a comeback kid. That's where that gap, that's where you get that separation. However, if you don't even have your dogs being dogs, then you're shit out of luck. Right behind him, I picked Igor Shesterkin. If his name is not Igor Shesterkin, if he's not a Vezina winner, last year's President Cup champion, netminder, he is dropped. He's not on anyone's team right now. I'm banking that they got to turn around eventually, but he should not be on anyone's roster, let alone picked 7th overall, first goalie off the board. As I said, at the time, no one bats an eye. Pedersen. Larry did warn me, but he's injured now. If he's not playing tonight, I am dropping him. He's 2.6 points a game. No one's going to pick him up. It just hurts. At one point, I thought the best goalie tandem coming out of the draft. I've got one guy left, and it's just Shesterkin, who's the worst. Juicy, get out of here. Anderson, Band-Aid. My goalies are 40 and 41. I thought I had the best goalie situation. Sometimes you take swings and sometimes you strike out. That's just how it is, you know? It is what it is. I'm a 3-game loss. Lowest point total. Lowest point total last week. My top 3. I'm done talking about my team. Zucker, 23.4 points, 5 goals, 1 apple. David Pastrnak, nice to see him there. But as I was saying, when's the last time you were scrolling through Twitter and David Pastrnak ripping it up again with a 2-goal game? That hasn't happened this year. David Pastrnak, 4 goals, 1 apple, 15.2 points. Sean Monahan, his comparable. 11.2, 1 goal, 3 apples. My goalies, Kochetkov, my guy. Thank God I have him. 10.3, 1-1-1 on the week. Igor Shesterkin, Sorokin. Get Shesterkin out of my head. You don't belong up there. Ilya Sorokin. 8.7, 1-2. Logan Thompson, 7.9, 1-1 on the week. Not a bad tally for my tendies, but my offense, just not there. Don't have the horsepower. Suivant next. We travel to the backyard of the Borland Backhanders, who has had their way this year with the Breakfast Club and most of the league. But not this day. The Breakfast Club, 183, beats up on the Borland Backhanders, 168.3. Lair gets his 3rd win of the season, jumps into 5th place in a big spot. Came down late on Saturday. We'll get into Matty Knives, but taking charge. Snaps a 3-game losing streak. I wrote a big upset. Separates from Timmy West's side. And as I said, he came on strong late. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Say it with me. It's one of our amendments here at the Bigs. Weekends win matchups. Friday, Larry won. Saturday, Larry won. Sunday, Larry won. Outscoring Connor by 96.9 to 73 points. Quick math guy, he won by 15 points. That's a difference of 20 something points. Weekends win matchups. 11-3. His offense led the way. His offense outscored Connor's 156 to 139. Again, quick math guy, 17-point difference. He won by 15. Bang. It all adds up. Numbers don't lie. His top 3. How'd he do it? As I said, a 4-goal, 1-assist game or something like that for Matty Knives. 22.4 points with 4 goals and 2 apples on the week. Sebastian Aho, 13.4 points, 1 goal and 4 apples. And Cale Makar, nice to see him on the leaderboard. 12.2 points for 2 goals and 2 apples. Big bump to this kid's roster. Austin Matthews is back. That could be a problem for guys like me. His goalies. By committee, I wrote down this week. I'm going to drop some names on you guys that you're going to be like, he's still in the league? He's not over in Switzerland, or he's not an accountant by now? No, hey, no knock on accountants. Al, big guy, my guy. UC Saros, he can take a hike. 10.7 points, 1-0 in the week. He got 1 start, 1 shutout. Fuck you, Juicy. Dustin Tokarski, once upon a time Habs prospect. 6.6 points, 1-0. Get the job done. Numbers don't lie. Just win, baby. Lankinen, 6.5 points, 1.1 win, 2 losses on the week. And then I wrote down his last name in my chicken scratch writing. Jukka Luukkonen. Rene Luukkonen. I don't know. You know the name. 3.2 points. No win. One loss in overtime. 3-10. Way to go, cuz. Thanks. Portland Backhanders. Back-to-back losses for the first time this season. Drops to 9-4. We'll get into last week's. No spoilers with our next matchup recap. No spoilers. But drop back-to-back for the first time this season. 9-4, as I said. It'll be the first to say not his best effort. 168 is the second lowest total of the week. I wrote down the first time all season his two big dome-headed monsters in the blue paint have not been in his top three. I'm talking Markstrom. I'm talking Hellebuck. Not there. Who did it for him? Joseph Wall. He was there, though. 16.2 points with a 2-0 record. Dylan Strome, 15.8 points. 1 goal, 4 apples. And Mitchie Marner, 14.4 points, 1 goal, and 5 apples. As mentioned, flipping over to the goalies now, the last two. Markstrom, from first time this year, did nothing for him, 0-2 with a 0.4 record. And Hellebuck did still get 12.7 points, 1-1-1 record. 9-4 in third place due to tiebreakers. Tough loss last week. We'll get into it. No show this week. Happens all the time. Trust me. Still got a puncher's chance at first overall. No doubt about it. Get right week this week against the Burt Macklin squad. Needs a dub. I need you to get a dub. Get it done, Borland. Strap on the flannel, comb the beard. Let's go. Let's get back on top. Which brings us to the last game of the week, the matchup of the week. The first thing I wrote down, game of the week. Saving the best for last. How are we doing on time? 18 minutes? Okay. Game of the week. Burt Macklin squad. Rubber puckies. Back and forth. Left, right, jabs, uppercut, dodging, weaving. Both of them took their shots, but in the end, only one man was left standing. A couple of 50 burgers dropped. I think Kenny had 3 50 burger days. Jake had a 50 burger in there. And another photo finish nail biter. The second 0.1 separator of the season. We've had a tie. And then we've had 2 games that have been decided by 0.1 points. This was the second. Burt goddamn Macklin squad gets the job done. As of now, unofficial scoring. If I'm doing all this and then by the time I click send, there's been an adjustment. It's out of my hands. I'm knocking on wood just for you, Jake, even though I shouldn't. 190.4, 190.3. Burt Macklin squad, all of a sudden, this is where the division that I'm talking about, the separation comes in. He's 5-8. 2-game win streak. 4th place. The Jake Quake. Get out of here. The fault lines don't exist anymore. It's negative 1,000. Don't even put up the graphic. He's 3 games up now on Timmy Westside and holds the head-to-head tiebreaker. Unless there's a seismic shift. Pun intended. He'll be in the dance sooner rather than later. going through their day-to-days, they literally went just punch, counter punch. Jake had a day where he had 10 plus points. The next day, Ken Dog answered with 10 points over Jake. Literally back and forth the whole week. Saturday, Ken Dog finished with a 5-point lead. Sunday, coming down to the wire. Jake gets a 5.1 differential. Literally bang, 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 bang. Just step for step the whole week. And as of now, Jake comes out on top. Highest score of the week. You know what that means? His top three. Marco Rossi. If his name is Marco, I've nailed every first name this week. But now looking at his next two, I'm very scared. Marco Rossi, 21.2 points, led the way with 3 goals and 5 apples. How are you, kid? The Minnesota Wild sprinkled all over his top three. I've had this before. It's not Frederick. It's not. Felipe Gustafsson, 19.4 points, kid. 2-0 on the week. Jonathan Marchessault. I was going to say like Jason. No. Jonathan Marchessault, 13.1 points. The Vegas Golden Knight had 1 goal and 3 apples and then like 9 pims. Flipping over to his goalies. I wanted to say Gustafsson has been, I haven't even looked at the stats. I probably should have, but he's been sneaky. After Hellebuck, after Markstrom, he's probably been the best goalie in the league. Every week, I'm trying to remember his name. How do you know that you're having a good season? If the first time I saw your name pop up on the top 3, I had no idea what that F stood for. Now, me and Felipe go way back. He's always there. His other goalies. Bobrovsky, 9.9 points, 1-1 record. Swayman, 1.2 points, 0-3. Yikes, didn't matter in the end, hopefully. Flipping over to the rubber puckies. Nail biters galore. Last week against Shawner, as I mentioned, won by 0.2 points last week. Was the only team over 200 points. Shawner had 199.9. Shawner last week, you got fucked. Ken Dog this week fucked. Double fugging. 9-4 on the record. Put up the graphics. 9-4 on the season. Sneaky has lost 3 out of his last 5. If he wants to stay in contention for number 1 overall, that's not going to cut it. His top 3, let's wrap this up quick. We're over 23 minutes. Yikes. Dylan Larkin, 18 points, 4 goals, 1 apple. Zach Werenski, 16.6 points, 1 goal, 5 apples. Mackenzie Blackwood, what a trade for the kid. Talk about a little bump at the end of the season. Going on to Colorado, 14.4 points, 2-0 record on the week. His other goalies, Vasilevsky, 0.3 points, 0-1. Aiden Hill, 7.2, 1-1. I wrote down, with Mackenzie Blackwood now donning the Avalanche maroon, Vasilevsky, Aiden Hill, Mackenzie Blackwood, those 3 can take you a long way. Boom. That's it. Recap over. Little peek behind the curtain. Your boy's going for some R&R. Going on a little 8-night, 9-day cruise as of Thursday. So there will be no recap next week. I will be back in 2 weeks. Good time to play Timmy Westside because no Wi-Fi. Just set it and forget it. Those lineups, I need something to break my way. Be good, boys. Happy New Year's. Boop.